A da ni'n andros yn lwcus. Coed, tidweilio, trai. Da ni yma I gyd heddiw. Gwennan, fi, John, Junco, a Dafydd, Wynne, Finch. Dafydd, da ni'n hynod o falch bod chi wedi gallu dod yma heddiw. Mae Dafydd wedi eni a'i bagu yn hydweilio. Yei! Ac yn ffario ac yn ddirfeddiannwr yma yn Llun a hefyd. A hyn yn double whammies. Dyffryn Conwy o lle dwi'n dod. So, croeso cynnes iawn ti da.
Diolch yn fawr iawn am y gwahoddiad yma. Dwi'n hapus ofnadwy I fod yma.
Might need a mic so we can...
Yeah, sure. Definitely need a mic.
Yeah, just for the live stream. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this one.
Is that what? No? What do you think? Just a little sort of slightly less cultural anecdote. The only time I've met Junco before is that I was summoned by Junco and John for, let's call it a little sort of sewage symposium because we're neighbours, and soon after they moved in they were having trouble with their drains and they were wondering if it was my ditches troubling their drains. But anyway, so Elwyn and I, the digger man, we were summoned down to where they live and to discuss the sewage problems, and we had no idea who they were, and then she very kindly showed Elwyn and I into her Bay de Bach, where all this incredible work was going on. So anyway, that's the first and actually only time I've met Junco. Anyway, we have the extreme good fortune to be farmers on the north side of Penllyn, about 5 milltir o fanna. Ac mae gennym ni, we farm, and we also have some woodland. Now I'm 54, and I always thought I'd always had in my mind that trees were cool, but trees are for old people. And I've suddenly reached the stage in my life about 5 years ago where my eyes were open to how amazing trees really are. So we've had these woodlands which have sort of just been, I suppose, they've sort of been doing their thing, asleep. But then about 5 years ago, along with my farming, I sort of began to have a completely sort of new look at how we did things, because what I realized was that everything's one dimensional, yeah. So and separate on our patch. So we have the farmland sits there and grows one thing, grass. There are some coniferous forests there that do one thing, grow conifer trees, all the same age and all that sort of thing. And then actually we have some deciduous woodland, which also is of the same age, about 100, somewhere between 100 and 200 years old, and they're all sort of separate from each other, and what's really going on, what's happening. And I realised that I hate clear felling of forests. How trees, commercial trees these days are grown like carrots. Up they come and over they go, and it looks like a song for about 10 years, and nothing's there. And the other thing I realised was that I've been up where I live at the moment, just for now. I've been walking, I've been exercising in a vast woodland near us in the Gwynedd forest, and it was planted over quite a long period of time, and I noticed how the energy was completely different in different parts of the woods depending on what was growing there. So when you have single species conifers, Sitka spruce or whatever it is, then it's almost dead. Nothing, the energy's bad. It's a bit sort of creepy, a bit scary. Nothing going on under the woods there. Just these things growing like carrots straight up. And but then there were other parts of the wood where there was Scots pine, there was Douglas, there was a mix, there was sort of heather growing underneath, and it just felt it was much more uplifting to be in those woods. So I suddenly realised that what was going on in our woods. So it's been an excellent journey, and I mean there's a long way to go, but we're working on our farmland. Because our farming has all been about sort of the physical side of things and the chemical side of things. So we've been growing a lot of food, but obviously using synthetics, and we'd like to sort of move away from that. But we also want to be we're farmers, we're producers, we're obsessed with producing things. So we want to produce lots of nutrient-dense food as well. So we're on a fascinating journey about learning more about our soil and how we work better with that, and what we can do with this amazing thing called photosynthesis, which is the key to everything. We've been going around the houses a bit on it, and is it all about the grazing? Is it all about this? Is it all about what you do, what you don't do? But in fact, it's all about the plants, and the plants photosynthesizing as their maximum capacity in order to be able to put energy into growing themselves, but also be able to partition energy, carbon down into the soil in order to feed the soil life down there. So we're working with some amazing people about how we go about improving that. So anyway, then that and. In the end, I want to sort of connect the coniferous, the deciduous, and the farmland and the non-productive farmlands together somehow. And I don't really know how that will happen. But for now, we're starting the journey whereby we are with the deciduous forestry was invaded completely by ponticum, laurel, rhododendron, all this stuff around here. So we've done a big project to eradicate that, and trying not to use chemicals, and that's going pretty well. We do have to use a little bit of chemicals, sadly, just to get them under control. So 18 months ago, we cleared it all out, and it's amazing how different that feels already. The light that's going on there, that's coming into the getting to the forest floor, is extraordinary things are beginning to happen. Underneath all these laurels, there are a lot of fallen trees, and one's instinct initially is to be, we've got to tidy everything up, got to clear everything. But in fact, actually, fallen trees are fine. They're fungal food, and they can stay there, and they look more interesting than neat rows of trees. So we've begun by clearing, and then I've discovered I was working with a fantastic guy he's half French, half Welsh. He's called Philippe Morgan, and we're transitioning the forest or the woodland. It's farm scale woodland. It's not forest scale. It's farm scale woodland. We're to something called continuous cover forestry, which means that we want different species of different ages naturally self-seeding, growing at all times. This is a very long project. I'm 54. It's going to take a century probably to achieve this. So we've been assessing what we have and the basal area of the trees that we do have, and we're taking some. This is on the deciduous. We're going to be taking some trees out to create pockets, so that we might do some enrichment planting, but we want to prime the pump so that the woods will generate themselves with different species. We will be taking timber out, and then of course that's another whole discussion about what you can do with timber, from fabulous craft work to hopefully the coniferous forests will be producing timber to build everyday houses for everybody. Is what we hope down the road. So we take out on the coniferous forests. We take out a little bit of timber very often, about every 5 years, and gradually let a bit more light down to the canopy. And we leave some trees. We'll probably do a bit of an enrichment planting, because at the moment I feel where it's single species, and we know what's happened to ash trees, we know what's happened to larch trees, and it's just not at all resilient, and it's not how it's meant to be. So we will be putting other species of trees in there as well. But the idea down the road is that everything will self-seed, and that other things can exist there in the woodland too. Whether that be whatever, all sorts of sort of flora and fauna, but they also remain a productive, useful resource for us as human beings as well. And of course, there has to be some economics in it too. So it's early days, and all sorts of inspiring things, like John coming along and making beautiful stuff out of the woods. My wife works in mental health, and there's so much we can do in the woods in terms of mental health, and so we are beginning a very exciting journey, and we're not really sure where it's going to go, but it's going to be. So far, it's very enjoyable. And we hope in the course of the next 2 years, until 2026, that maybe we can do some woodland walks, and come and have a look, and come and see what's going on, and you can tell me what you think, and what should happen or shouldn't happen. It's mild. The weather here, as you might know, is mild, and it's mild and wet, and trees love it. Trees grow really well. The wind gets some of it, but it couldn't be a better place on the planet for growing trees, I don't think. So that's where we're at. Love all the things they're doing, and like you say, opening our eyes to what's here already. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for inviting me here today. It's very good, and hope to be part of something going on. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh, yes.